If you want to know how to book podcast guests on your podcast and get high-level celebrity guests on your show, then you're going to want to watch this video right here. What's cracking? My name is Zachary Babcock with UnderdogEmpowerment.com. I'm the host of the Underdog Empowerment Podcast, and I'm telling you that because I've interviewed people, celebrities like Andy Frisella, Grant Cardone, Neil Patel, Robert Greene, and a ton of other people that I just can't think of right off the top of my head. So I've got this getting celebrity type guests on your podcast down not only to a science but also to an art form, and I'm going to share that with you right here on this video. But first, I'm going to share with you a quick and easy way on how to schedule people on your podcast that's going to remove a lot of the headache as far as scheduling conflicting schedules go. So let's dive right into that first and foremost. Alright, the first thing about booking podcasts is you want to set this up in a way where you're not going to burn out from doing podcasts all the time. Now, I've been doing this for a little bit over 2 years now, almost 2 years now, and what I ran into is I had to really figure out what worked best for me and my schedule. I started off by doing it every Thursdays when I did my podcast interviews, but quickly I got overwhelmed by having to do that every single week and having to produce, and eventually, long story short, I found a process that works for me where I conduct 2 months worth of interviews in 1 week, and then I'm good for 2 months, and I don't even have to worry about it, and I got it in the bank. And that way you can batch produce and get things set up so that you don't have to worry about it. And I also use a tool where I can send them my calendar link that has these slots that I'm available where they can book right out. Now there's a bunch of different softwares that you can use for that. Me personally, I use Acuity. It's what I found that I like the most. And I'm going to share with you a tutorial on how I actually go about setting that up and then being able to send that link out so people can book to come on my show on my terms. All right, here we are in Acuity. So let's do a quick tutorial on how to set this up. First, you need to set up the appointment type. So you'd go under here on appointment types, and then you would name it podcast interview. And you simply just go in here and you set it up. You would name it, and then you can send the confirmation email that's sent as soon as somebody books it. This is the email that they get, and you can just prepare them for the interview. I tell them to connect on Skype and make sure they have good internet connection, make sure they got good equipment, and send their video PDF training to me at this address. Looking forward to connect. And you can upload your logo if you need, and then you select the color of the appointment type that you want. And then you're good to go. And then you hit update appointment type. Next, you're going to want to go to sync with other calendars and make sure that you sync this to your Google Calendar, which is pretty easy to set up. You just follow the instructions that we have set right here. After you sync with other calendars, then you're going to go down to email settings, and in here you're going to select the actual interview, the appointment type. And then you can set up all of your, emails, your follow-ups like the day before and whatnot. And you can select whether you want to send it 24 hours before, an hour before, or have multiple ones. And finally, we're going to set the availability. So you select the availability right here, and then you're going to select the actual appointment type. So we're going to select podcast interview. We're just going to select this right here. And this is where you can select your availability. Now I have this box checked. I have regular hours every week, and it has those right here. But then I block off those hours, and I'll show you. I do a blitz where then I had the blitz like right here in April, where that week I'll do all these interviews, and then that gives me 2 months worth. And in case you're noticing, I don't have any interviews set till April 2020 because I do a lot of batch producing. That way I'm always on top and ahead of the game. And that's how easy it is to get set up on Acuity. And what that does is now you're set up. All you got to do is share that link whenever you're ready to book someone. They book a time, then it does all the follow-up for you, gives them all the information they need to prepare for the episode, and it saves you a lot of time and stress in the process. Next up, let's get on how to book big-name celebrity guests for your show. All right, the main reason why people don't get these big names booked on their show is because they're scared to ask. A closed mouth don't get fed. And I get it. You might be thinking like, well, this person's a celebrity, they're not going to give me the time of day, but that's the wrong thinking. And the reason why I say that's wrong is because, dude, I did over 5 years of my life in prison, and nobody wanted to collaborate with me. Nobody gave me the time of day, and then I launched my podcast, and a week later I had Billie Jean as marketing on my podcast, and I've had countless of other industry leaders, celebrities, athletes, best-selling authors, you name it, on my podcast since. And the reason why is because a podcast is a media source, and all these big names love going on it because a podcast is a perfect platform to go on because it's evergreen content, meaning that they can have access. When people subscribe to your show, They have access to all of those episodes, and people listen to episodes from 5 years ago, versus if you make a post on Facebook or Instagram, the algorithm kills it off by the end of the day or by the end of the week for sure, unless you're running paid advertisements to it. So it's evergreen. They want to get on it. You notice whenever a big celebrity's got something going on, they go on these podcast tours, especially if they're coming out with a new book. They go promote their book on all these podcasts. So this is a perfect way for you to get them on your show. Now I'm going to give you a process on how to set this up, and I'm going to give you the script on how you actually pitch them. So let's dive into it. All right, here we are inside of Google Sheets, which is a free resource that you can use. And what we're doing here is we're making a guest list. Now, this is a guest list template that we set up for all of our private clients, and we do the pitching for them, for the ones that don't want to actually have to go through this process themselves. And what we do is you map out all the people that you want on your podcast. Start with 25 names and just add 2 to 3 more names every single week, so you have an endless supply of people to pitch to. And what you want to do is you want to make these 5 columns right here: the name of the person, their email. When you get their email, you're going to put it in here, and then you're going to put the dates that you pitched them, and then you're going to put the follow-up date if they say, hey, follow back up with me and so, boom. And then you also put the status. If you've interviewed or if you booked them, I like to mark them yellow, and then I'll mark them yellow, and then I'll write booked right here. And then what I do is I'll move them up top here, and then that way, boom, I know that I got them booked. And then when we actually had the interview, I'll turn it green and I'll write interviewed. Whether it went live or not, I'll mark it like that. And then that way, you're staying on top of everything, and it's an easy way to go in. You set aside a time each and every week to go in and go after these big names. All right, now that you got your guest list set up, now how you find the emails and find the way to pitch them is you go to their websites, and they have like a contact page, or you can find it on their website, check it out. For most people, you'll be able to find that. And you can also find them on social media and pitch them there. And that you just simply make your pitch. What's the worst that can happen is they don't respond, they say no. Well, guess what? You're getting that answer if you didn't ask anyway. So it doesn't hurt to go out and try. And you're going to land a lot of these people that you thought that you wouldn't land on your show just by doing it. Now, here's the script. There's no set script, but there's an actual principles that are going to make this more powerful. Think about it. These people are getting their inboxes and their email inboxes blown up. They're getting hit left and right, and they're very, very busy individuals. And so if you send them an autobiography, a long pitch, more than likely they're not even going to read it. They're going to open it up and get anxiety because it's too much to read, and they got too much other stuff going on, and then now you just miss them. So you want to keep these really short, sweet, to the point, be blunt. You basically say something like, hey man, dude, you're a perfect fit for my podcast. My audience are these types. And then you hit them with a 1-sentence credibility factor. For me, I say I did over 5 years in prison and built a 6-figure business. You can learn more about me here. And I point to my website in case they want to dive in more. I say you'd be an awesome fit for my guests. And I want to promote everything you got going on. Please let me know if we can make this happen. Thank you. Talk soon. That's literally like 5 different lines spread out, and it's right to the point, and it works so well. We have a bunch of other follow-up pitches in our agency that we could pitch them multiple times and keep going on. Some of them are more longer than that one on the follow-ups, but I want you to know that pitch, the first pitch right there, gets a higher conversion than all of our pitches combined put together, just because it's being real, straight up to the point, and going straight for the ask. They don't want to beat around the bush. These people appreciate getting straight to the point. Now, I will say this does require sweat equity, and it does require time. So if you don't want to put in that time that it takes, because you're going to have to, depending on your show and how much you produce, you're going to have to put a few hours into this every week, if not more, to book up your schedule. So if you don't have the time, you're a busy entrepreneur, have everything else going on, and you want somebody to do that for you, somebody that's going to crush it for you and keep your schedule booked with high-level names, I would definitely go check out the link in the description below and have us do that for you. You'll also be getting access to my Rolodex of all the celebrity types that I've already interviewed. If you want to take a look at that impressive list, just go to Underdog Empowerment and check out the podcast and see some of the names that we've had on the show. We could take care of that for you if you don't have the time. If you're just starting out and you don't have the money and the resources, I would follow this process that I just gave to you because it works. We've proven it over and over again for myself and all of our clients. So go check that out. Go dial that in. And if you want us to have us do that for you, go hit up the link in the description below. All right, before you go, make sure you hit subscribe if you want to continue to level up your podcast and your passive income, because this is the best channel for that. Make sure you hit the bell notifications as well so you don't miss any time that we upload a new video. And we upload every single Tuesday. And if you haven't started your podcast yet and you're looking to launch your podcast and you're just gathering up all the information before you get going, I got a complete step-by-step guide that's going to show you exactly how to do every single thing you need to know about podcasting. This video right here is going to show you everything you need to know, whether if you don't have an idea about podcasting at all, no equipment, nothing. It covers every single spec, every single base, and it's going to help you get your podcast up and running, have it on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher. Go check it out. I'll talk to you on the next video. Peace.